Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Ventura TV. I'm Sandra Siepak. On today's show, we're welcoming Akbar Alikhan. He is the Assistant City Manager with the City of Ventura. And today we're going to talk about a very important subject, which is water rates. And we want to hear more from him about that. So let's get started. This is a very important issue for so many people. So I'd like you to first tell us about Ventura Water and what the rates support, and then we're going to get into the rate increase proposal that's coming down the pipeline.
Sure thing. Yes, so Ventura Water, for residents who don't know, it is a department of the city.
Okay.
It's the city's water and wastewater utility, and that's led by Susan Rundgren, who's the general manager for Ventura Water.
Okay.
She's supported by 108 capable people, and those folks help manage 3 water treatment plants, 1 wastewater treatment plant, almost 400 miles of water lines, about 300 miles of wastewater lines. And we do that with a team of engineers, operators, customer service staff, lab experts, all of the above to make that all happen every day.
Okay. And earlier this year, the Ventura Water Commission voted to approve a 5-year water increase of about 7%. This will increase monthly service for many folks. Why is the rate increase needed now? And especially now with people having a very tough time financially, customers are going to want some answers, and some may agree, some may not agree. So let's hear more about that.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to speak on that. And just to further elaborate on the premise, it is 7% per year for water service and 6% per year for wastewater service.
All right.
When you compound that for 5 years, that adds up. That compounds to almost 40% or a little over 40%.
Okay.
And the question as to why or is now the good time? Frankly, there's never a great time. We understand and we are sensitive to the fact that people are recovering from the COVID pandemic, whether it be physically or financially.
Right.
But the reality is today, we have, like everything else in life, our operational costs are going up. That's only one piece of the story, though. The other piece of it is the water that we have today won't necessarily be here tomorrow.
Oh.
And what I mean by that is, in 2014, the state passed something called the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act. And what it essentially said is all the groundwater basins throughout the state have to start drawing water in a sustainable way. And what that will mean is less extraction from local groundwater basins that we've enjoyed historically. It's the responsible thing to do, don't get me wrong, but it will have an impact on our bottom line. And the last piece is I think a lot of residents are aware of what's happening on the Ventura River. That, of course, has financial impacts. And then just overall climate change. We have a lot of reinvestment we need to make back into the system because it is an old city with aging infrastructure. That is a huge piece of this. I don't want to skip over that because that's about $400 million that we need to put back in our system over the next decade or so.
Okay. When was the last time the city raised the water rates?
That's a great question. That's another factor as to why we need to recover this compounded 40% in what some people say is a rather short time frame, over 5 years.
Right.
We haven't touched rates since July of 2017.
Okay.
And in other words, we went all of 2018, 2019, and 2020 without touching rates. And that's good and bad. I mean, in a good sense, it's kept rates affordable. If you're a homeowner here or a resident here, rates have not gone up, and maybe that's a good thing for you and your personal bottom line. But it's bad in the sense that we have ground to make up. While every other agency across the county have been able to raise rates as needed, we have been stagnant. And going back as to why, we were in the middle of a rate study in 2017 when in December, as we all know, the Thomas Fire came and our attention shifted to more important matters at the time. So we restarted that process, and it is a long process, but we're doing it now.
Will the increase, should everything go through as planned, will that increase everyone across the board? What about those customers that are low income, that may not be able to afford that? How does that affect them too?
Yeah, it will impact everybody. Whether you're a residential customer, you have a lot of means or you don't have a lot of means, it will affect you.
Okay.
Non-residential as well, if you're irrigation customer only, it will affect, it's every customer that Ventura Water serves, which is about 32,000 customers across the city.
Okay.
Even some customers outside city limits that we happen to serve water and wastewater service to. In terms of how it will impact low income users or fixed income users, there's two quick points I want to make. One is we do have low income ratepayer assistance programs, much like how you would apply to get ratepayer assistance through your electric bill through Southern California Edison.
Okay.
You can actually use that same piece of paper and show that to our customer service staff to apply for low income benefits on the water side. So we have that available today. And if people don't know about that, they can avail themselves to it if they qualify. The second point I want to make is one of the things that the Water Commission did that's going to have a tremendous impact on keeping water affordable is they expanded the tier 1 range. In tier 1, I'm going to get into the concept of tiers for a second. It's essentially the cost for the first unit of water that you purchase is cheaper than what you pay for the last unit of water that you purchase, assuming you go above a certain threshold.
Okay.
And what the Water Commission did is that tier 1 water, which is the cheapest water for residential users, they expanded that range from 0 to 3 units to 0 to 6 units per month, which means more people will be able to stay in the tier 1 range, which is their lowest cost water.
Okay.
Today, only 21% of residents can stay in tier 1 just because it's hard to do so, even when you're being very water conscious and you're being frugal about your water use.
Sure.
Tomorrow, or when I say tomorrow, I mean July of this year, as proposed, over 50% of our residents will be able to stay in tier 1, which is a tremendous improvement. So over half of our residents will be able to avail themselves to the lowest cost water and stay within that tier 1 range.
Okay. Let's hear what the city's doing to ensure that the water remains affordable, and also what type of water we're going to have for the future. Is it going to be safe? Is it going to be good down the road, for many future generations to come? These are some of the important questions also.
Absolutely. And I want to make a quick plug. The water you drink today is safe.
Okay.
I don't want to give the impression
Right.
that it isn't.
Right.
It is absolutely safe.
Okay.
But there is a variability in what I would call water quality. And depending on which area of town that you live in, you get a certain hardness to your water, or
True.
you may have a water softener in your home, and that has an expense for you and your family.
Right.
Or you may not like the taste of the tap water, so you have a Sparklet subscription delivered to your home every week. That too is a cost to you and your family. There's a couple of projects that are on the horizon, one of which is Ventura Water Pure, and I think a lot of members of our community are aware of this. This is the potable reuse project where we're actually going to clean up wastewater, inject it into the ground, let the earth clean it naturally, and then extract it back up and then retreat it and distribute it and blend it with our existing water supplies. That will go a long way in helping solve our water quality issues in tandem with the State Water Interconnection Project. So both of those together are going to go a long way into improving our water quality really throughout the city, but primarily on the east end of town where we have some hardness issues. So today, if you have a water softener or you have Sparklet subscription, I'm not saying in 2025 you can get rid of those. That's up for you and your family to decide, but it's something you're going to want to consider. It may meet your level of acceptance to the point where, I don't need to spend $35 a month on the subscription, or I don't need to spend thousands of dollars on a water softener. That is up to you, but we expect to see higher quality water in the future.
That's good. Since we're running kind of low on time here, I want to find out just really quick, what would happen if the water rates are not raised? What happens next?
Well, I'm going to borrow a line I learned from Councilmember Joe Schrader recently. The old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Okay.
That really proves true when it comes to managing a water and wastewater system. If you don't make investments today, you will pay for them several fold down the road.
Okay.
We also have this thing called the consent decree with a variety of environmental partners or co-signers, I should say,
Okay.
regarding the Santa Clara River estuary. We have a legal obligation to make sure that we decrease our wastewater effluent flows into the Santa Clara River estuary. We have to do that. So there are real fines and penalties if we don't comply. And then I don't mean to fearmonger, but if we aren't able to secure more water, it would mean moving into higher drought stages much faster than we ever have before.
All right.
And perhaps a building moratorium because we have lack of water. And that's going to have real serious economic impacts. So
Yes, it
that's
will.
something I hope we don't go down that road.
Okay, very good. Where can folks get more information on the proposed water increase, and also the water department, and some more information from the city?
We have a website set up specifically for this.
Okay.
That website is VenturaWaterRates.net. You can go there today. You can actually use a water bill calculator if you're interested in seeing what your bill might be come July, if you're curious about that.
Okay.
We have an open house that we are going to be hosting via Zoom on April 19th and April 28th. That'll start at 6 p.m.
Good.
And we've advertised every single one of these meetings on this website. And of course, social media is how we're getting the word out. If you follow us on Facebook or Instagram, our social media team has been doing a fantastic job in sharing information that way.
Very good. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Akbar Alikhan, Assistant City Manager, for explaining more about some of the things that are going to be happening. And we hope people will get more information from the website regarding water rates. Thank you so very much for joining us today on the show.
Thank you for your time, Sandra. Appreciate it.